Oh, I am so excited to introduce one of my, I feel very soulmate friend. Yes, me too. Her name is Martita Ayup, and she is going to take us on a journey that she has experienced in her life from, well, I'll let her explain her own story, but how quantum physics became something very important in her life and something that she teaches. And I'm hoping she will teach us about how to be on this earth, but still know that quantum physics is available for us to use. So take it away, Martita.
Oh, my dear. Thank you very much for having me here, for inviting me. And hello to everybody that is going to see this. And this time or recorded. And yes, I am originally from Argentina, so English is not my first language, but I do my best. So thank you for your patience on that. And yeah, thank you for considering me someone valuable in order to come here and say and share my experience. So thank you, my dear friend. I love you. And yes, of course, we
I
are
love you
soulmates.
too.
Yes.
I just feel like your story is just so valuable because, I've watched movies and I've read books and I've heard about the experience of what people have had when they've left their bodies, and I've always been fascinated with that. So just that alone brought us together. And I believe, none of us meet anybody by accident. It's all for a purpose.
Yeah.
So you are one of those teachers that I love to learn from.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, I was blessed to have those experiences when I was 24. Now I am 41. I was 24 by then, and I had 4 autoimmune conditions that three of them were, no, they were 5. 4 of them were very severe and very strange ones, like dermatomyositis or vasculitis, these very uncommon autoimmune conditions. So I ended being very, very in a very, very bad condition, physical condition. And I was in a bed for a year and a half without moving. My muscles, my joints, everything, my collagen was affected in every way. So I was totally disabled. And I was 3 times in the intensive care unit. And the 3rd time I was about to die, I had like a very near to death experience where I had like a shock, like an anaphylactic shock because of the drugs. And then I shut down, like I don't remember anything. But when I woke up, I woke up with a feeling of extreme peace and joy. And the nurses were there like over me, going to give me an electroshock. But yes, I don't remember if I saw something there, but when I came back, I was so much in peace and joy, but joy, like an ecstasy of joy. And I felt so much peace. And I remember I felt like everything was okay. I came back.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. I was still talking.
Beautiful. I had someone calling me. I don't know how to turn that notification off. So
No problem. But yeah, I was telling that yes, that feeling of peace and joy and feeling that everything was okay. That for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like something should be different from what was being. And that was really very for my mind and my mindset was something very hacking to my beliefs, because I used to believe that you can only be happy when everything is okay. and you're healthy, you are doing what you like, you don't have any need, you have a good economic situation or anything, but
I think that's good. I think that was me writing to someone else, and I just sent that into the
okay, no
yeah.
problem.
So no worries about that.
Okay. So yeah, so when I start feeling that joy being in my worst physical condition ever, I was like, how can this be possible? How can you be so happy and joyful and experience so much peace in the worst condition ever, right? And some previous days, I felt there in the intensive care unit, I was feeling like perceiving some presence, some beings were there. You know that also
Yeah.
when sometimes people manifest that they are in a bed and there is like someone sitting on the bed and you can see the bed that it goes down the part where you feel someone is sitting. I experienced those kind of things in the intensive care unit before this happened, and I was feeling so much um, um, not alone there in that situation, even though you're like very alone in the intensive care unit. But yeah, that happened, and it really shifted the way everything was going that moment. And at that moment, I felt like so much certainty on what were my next steps. Like I decided to quit all the medication, to quit the chemotherapy, and I decided just to go and be at home. And if I have to die, that was fine. If I have to continue living ill, that was fine. Everything was fine. So I
So
think
surrendering to the idea that death isn't as bad as maybe we think it is,
yes,
and that we do have energies, spirits that are there supporting us. Would that be something that you picked up from that moment?
yes,
Mm, mm.
absolutely. And and I think that it was perfect for me in that moment to be in that physical condition because it was the only way that I was going to be able to surrender completely,
Wow.
the control, because I was really not able to control anything. My body was not working. I was not doing things. I was not the one that was having a life because all my doing stopped. So I couldn't nurture my identifications with my character here. So I really didn't know who I was because I was not the one that
Yeah.
was doing things to be someone, right? So that
Yeah.
psychologically, that moment was very critic, but it took me to the point that I don't know anything, surrender, and there the self came up. I felt it that way, my true self.
Okay. So
Mhm.
hopefully none of us have to go to a near-death experience in order to find our true self.
Yes,
So walk us
that
through
is the
some of the
point.
steps, walk us through
Yeah,
some of the steps that you have put in your life to be able, and I do want to touch into quantum physics because I
yeah,
think, I've read some things, I'm very unfamiliar, but I know that we can
yes,
have we can be at different places energetically, and we can work energetically on our body and other people and not be in the same room. So that fascinates me as well. And I don't know if that's some of the stuff, but let's go to town on this. Let's have
it's
fun.
amazing. Really, quantum physics is like the modern language of mysticism or spirituality. So you can really see things explained by quantum physics or quantum biology. And quantum biology is even more complex. Like you have like inorganic chemistry and then you have organic chemistry. And in the inorganic chemistry, everything is like more linear. And when you go to organic chemistry, that is the chemistry in the body, like enzymes and a lot of molecules, there are things that you don't know how they happen. But there is like there is like an intelligence there that puts some order in the chemical reactions, that even the basic principles of quantum physics cannot explain some biological behaviors in the particles when they manifest like a body.
Wow.
So
wow.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's really very interesting. But yeah, basically quantum physics is telling us that after all the mechanic physics that is more linear, more basic, is that we or the particle, yes, can have like two different behaviors. It can behave like a particle, like matter, like something separate of everything, or it can behave as a wave, right? Mm-hmm. So this is very important because we can see that sometimes, for example, light can be tiny particles, or sometimes it can be a wave, right? Or like, I don't know, like a wave in the ocean and the drop alone, like a particle.
Could that be like, and I'm very unknowledgeable in this, but would that be like the difference between a vibration and a frequency, or are they basically the same? I'm thinking like particles and waves, how to get a better picture. I get the ocean, so there's more of a mass of energy that's collected going in the same direction, and particles might be scattered going in different directions. Would that be kind of a simple term, or is that really off the mark?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so I'm thinking when you say wave, is that like a string of particles that are all going in the same direction, that it's creating a current? Where a particle, there could be a lot of independent particles kind of doing their own thing. And then they go and find another particle that's like them and kind of go, okay, can we go over here and do something? I'm just thinking of the simple terms of how the difference between the particles.
I think we can think it in that way. Yeah.
Okay.
You can think it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to bring all that like abstract concepts to our body, to matter, right? But I can explain it like, for example, you can our thought, yes, it's like a wave. It's something that has no matter, right? It's a wave. It behaves like a wave. That's why you can think of someone and that person is in another part of the world, and suddenly that person texts you, or that is how you can help someone to heal or rebalance its energy, and through your intention or through your thought, or even using your own energy. Energy is like very fast in time and space, right? But matter
there is no
more
time
dense.
and space, right? There is
There
no
is
time
no
and
time
space.
and space. Yeah, totally. There is not, but we have like the perception of it. You're right, in this plane. So I can use like a thought that is like the wave, and the thought is going to traduce or translate in the body, like in a molecule, in a chemical compound, like for example a hormone that can be, I don't know, cortisol. If I am in fear, if I have a thought of fear, it can be the hormone cortisol, or a stress hormone, another stress hormone, or I can have another feeling, another thought that will become a feeling, and then my body is going to translate that information in another hormone like serotonin, oxytocin, that are the pleasure hormones, right? So
Right.
In that sense, we are being quantum beings all the time. Yes, we are like using both behaviors. We are using our wave behaviors with our thought, for example, and then we translate that energy in the matter, because a molecule, a hormone, is a chemical compound, is matter, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay, I'm following you.
so in this way, this like energy field can impact in matter, right? That we have heard a lot of that, like the
Yes.
energy, the state of your energy body, energetic body, or your chakras or whatever is going to translate in your body. If your body is in a harmonic state or in a disharmonic state, right? So
Right.
in this way, we are quantum beings, right? We choose what wave or vibration or frequency we are going to emanate to the field, and that is our body, that is this body in this dimension, translates those frequencies in molecules. So our first step in materializing, in manifesting things, is our body, the chemistry of our body, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We can, because we materialize, we manifest chemical compounds in our blood. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That comes
And that
from the
is
breath.
from within, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
we usually expect that something outside of us happens in order to feel better, for example, or in order to feel abundant, right? I need something to be materialized outside of my body in order for me to start feeling that I am abundant and I live in prosperity and I am able, or I am complete. I need someone that completes me from outside, right?
Right.
And
Right.
that is something we have been conditioned to believe that that is the way. So we usually, from our body, tend to manipulate or to create in matter from our material part. That's where we arrive working so hard to achieve things with a lot of effort, yeah, with a lot of suffering, with a lot of stress. Like, I need to move this rock all the time, pushing. Like, we have been experiencing matter trying to modify matter.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like by
Yes.
pushing, by
Yes.
doing a lot of
And we
effort and using a lot of energy.
Well, and
Yes.
that is what, like you said, we're conditioned as a society that we must work harder, we must do more, we must be the
Yes.
top of our whatever class that we're doing. And we're constantly
Yes.
fighting against matter, is what it sounds like to me. We're fighting against our own self in trying to manifest what we want. So we're pushing it farther and farther away, opposed to actually creating it to come closer and closer to us. So what we think, obviously, is what we manifest. But how do we change that? I mean, we've been ingrained as a society to do that. So
Yes. For example, one of the quantum physics principles says the observer effect is, I will read it so I don't miss any English word. It's
beautiful.
like the act of measuring or observing a quantum system changes its behavior. It's like watching a magic trick where the trick only works when no one is looking. So
That's beautiful,
uh,
actually.
that's beautiful. And a lot of people, and for example, frequency therapists, all these now new modern therapies, even frequency medicine, are working on this, that is like things only exist if we observe them. So they only materialize or manifest if we observe them, if we think about them, if we put our attention on them, right? So if our attention goes to, I don't have this, I am not worthy, I am not enough, everything needs to be very hard, with a lot of effort. I need to be very stressed at Friday afternoon so I can feel that I have been productive all the week. So we are creating that. because we are observing that.
Right.
We
Right.
observe that in our thoughts, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that is where you can link this with we became what we thought. We become what we thought, or what we think, right? And we have been always doing that. So with these principles, you are only realize that you are responsible 100% of everything that happened in your life before and everything that is happening now.
I can't remember what it's called, but it reminds me of when we are focusing on the road and there's potholes in the road and we're staring at the potholes saying, I don't want to hit the potholes. I don't want to hit them. And the first thing you do is you run over the pothole, right? So, you know, we can think positive thoughts or we can think negative thoughts, but where we put our attention is where our focus of our body and our energy is going. And that's what I hear you saying. Is that correct?
Yes, totally. Yes, absolutely. And it's not suffering or rejecting your negative thoughts, because a lot of people lose a lot of time there. Like, when I am going to stop thinking negatively? Like, they are waiting for that moment that something magic happened and I will stop thinking, and they are judging their thoughts with more thoughts, right? Like, okay, I had these negative thoughts and thought, but if you just let it go, don't put your attention there, right? And then you can say internally, I want to start believing in other things. I want to explore. It's like an exploration. The quantum field is like an exploration. And one of the misconceptions that I see there, and when people start exploring this, how can I manifest what I want? They usually try to use the quantum field from their lack, from their ego in lack. So they approach the quantum field from their lack vibration, their lack frequency, right? So now I want to go into the quantum field, infinite possibilities there, in order to, how can I make what I want to happen, right?
Yes.
So I think that it's very important that we, with this development of consciousness, that we realize that what we really are, and that we already are whole, and we are the self, and we are God, the source. And from there, you can be in service and you can surrender to the quantum field of infinite possibilities. And you don't even need, you don't have the need to you say what is what you need to happen there in order for you to feel good or to feel whatever you want to feel, right? Because you are going to be there trying to control the quantum field, when you just have to surrender and trust that if you are vibrating the vibration of, or emanating the vibration of the source, you know that everything that manifests or comes is perfect. And
you know,
usually,
this is, I was thinking this could be for some people such a big stretch, right? How can we believe that we can control our own destiny? Because we've always, I mean, there's theories out there like you're born with who you are, you can't change what you're at. You know, your family has put their beliefs onto yours. So how can we shift the idea that this is even a possibility? I mean, you're living and breathing and you're doing it, and you do it very, very well. I mean, you just light up a room everywhere you go. But some people just don't feel like they can do that. So what would be like the first steps into the belief? Like, how could you let go of, oh my gosh, I can't do it, to, oh, it's a possibility?
Yeah, it's about wanting to play and explore, first of all. No, don't take it too seriously, but
That's
play,
perfect.
play and explore. But Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that start like doing visualizations, affirmations, and they say, I cannot materialize, I cannot manifest what I want, this does not work. It's because they get very frustrated. First of all, they want something to manifest in the time they want to happen, and you cannot control that. You just need to surrender. And this is where people start to try these tools from a lack or a fear perspective, or a fear position, or a lack position. So that is very important. So if this happens, just watch yourself from where you are putting your intention, or setting an intention, or sending some information to the quantum field, right? Because if you don't do it consciously, you are going to do it unconsciously. But
That's where our dreams come in, right? Or our nightmares.
yeah. But you are always emanating some vibration, even though you don't know what that is. Because if you are consciously vibrating what you want, what frequency you want to emanate to the field, you are emanating the vibration and the frequency of your limiting beliefs, your patterns, your everything that was installed in your software all your life, right? You are conditioned by that. So when you can see that, you can see the things that you have manifested in your life, even though you don't realize that you were manifesting those things, right? Usually people think, I am a victim, things happen to me from outside, so I am a victim. For example, I can say, I am a victim, I had 5 autoimmune conditions, poor myself, I am so unlucky because I had these conditions, blah, 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 right? But, or I can assume my part of creating that reality to myself.
Yeah, let's stop for a moment. What do you think led you to have all of those autoimmune issues? Because, right, what we attract, we bring in. Obviously,
Yes.
you are bringing that in from a negative perspective of maybe who you are or your environment. And then you have this near death experience, and you come over with this peace and joy, and you surrender. Like I said, none of us really want to go through the near death experience, but we are bringing into our life what we don't want. So how do we shift it to the things we do want?
Yes, that is awesome. I was, when I got sick, that version of myself was very demanding. I was always judging myself. I was never enough. I was always feeling lack and fear. I was in survival mode totally, but a perceived survival mode. It was not that I was in a very critical economic condition. No, I had a house, I had food, I have everything, right? But I was in this. I must be something. I am not. I am anything. I need to do things in order to be someone. So I need to be the best in what I was doing, and I was having a lot of stress, that I decided to live things with that stress. It was how I was learn. I learned to do things that way, that being stressed and being pushy and work hard and study hard and don't sleep, even sleep because you need to study. So I was not sleeping well. I was like all the time drinking coffee and caffeine, Coke, in order to be awake, because I need to study hard and hard and hard in order to get there, to
Were
get
you
that.
becoming a doctor at this point? Because I know that is it?
Yes, I was becoming a biologist, my first degree in biology. And then after I healed, I finished my degree, and then I started the PhD in biology. Yes. And
Yes.
yes, I was not taking care of myself. I have very low self-esteem. So I used to have very destructive behaviors to myself. And an autoimmune condition is your own immune system attacking yourself,
Yes.
like the immune system not judging well if if this is me or if this is not me. And in that sense, I can say I was not being myself, my true self. I was being someone that I should be. I was becoming someone that I should be, but not in
Do
my
you,
true self.
yeah, do you ever find yourself now slipping back, like environmentally, kind of going, the pressure is getting to me now. I'm trying to, again, you're trying to finish up so your
A
doctrine,
master.
your master, that's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is where people have a hard time balancing because they're trying to get to their dreams. They're chasing their dreams. They believe 100% that
Yeah.
this is their true self.
Yes.
But then we start falling off of the feeling good, we don't get enough sleep, we're not eating properly, and then the
Yeah.
disease starts to slip in us. So, what are some of the things that
Totally.
you are really routine wise, like these are the things I
Mhm.
know that keep me happy and joyful and balanced while I'm going through pressure in life?
Yes. First of all, taking it like a play and playing the and exploring, just not taking it too seriously. Because before I used to take things very seriously, and 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 after being in a bed a year and a half, and
Mm,
and
gosh.
my life had stopped for completely. I start redimensioning things, and the things that for me were like, oh, very important. I could redimension them and said, no, this was not very important. It was not bad if I lose one exam. It was not bad. It was no one was going to die if that happened. And for me, it was like my life is ending if I am losing one exam, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or if I am delaying my career 1 month, 2 months, right? It was like the end of my life. So after being in a bed and my life stopped completely, I was like, this was not too bad. This was not too serious. It didn't have like the weight that I gave it, right? So
Yeah.
in this time, for example, when I am studying again, because I did my degree, I did my PhD in biology, then I got certified as a health coach. I do my yoga training. I am a yoga teacher. I am always studying, but I was able to establish a new relationship with studying and trying to be studying from a different way, from a different place in myself, like from a more present state, like breathing, listening to my body, enjoying what I am studying, not just I need to study this, I need to record this in my mind in order to give the exam, but being always inspired and curious about what I am doing and exploring. So I live everything with much more joy, and yes, and I enjoy more things, the things more.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I don't need to get to the result in order to start enjoying life, but I enjoy the process of what I am doing and developing and learning. So in that sense, like listening to the body, if I need to stop, I try to stop. It is, we all have like these pressure moments that our old behaviors start to come up, and our old limiting beliefs patterns come up very easily. So I can see my thoughts like, no, we need to finish this, or I am not going to have lunch until I finish this, like
Yeah.
automatically my body is like tense. So that is for me, I use a lot of my body to feel and to sense myself if I am being me or not. And when my body got tense and a bit uncomfortable, I am not being myself. I am going to the other side. So until now it happens to me, but I don't judge that. I just take it as part of the human experience, and I cannot erase everything that is in my subconscious mind. I just need to be in presence to watch the mental proposal And if a
Oh,
thought
I love
comes,
that mental proposal. Oh my gosh. So that's like a dance, right?
yes.
I'm
And it's
gonna,
like,
oh, I love
I
it.
don't know, you have the red shirt or the yellow shirt, and you have two proposals. Which one you are going to choose? So if you choose the proposal of the mind, that is the judging, pressuring yourself, and all that, you can choose it, but choose it consciously and go there, and you will feel it in your body, like, this is not comfortable to do things from this place. So I automatically take myself to the other place. Like, no, I am exploring, living this action that usually takes me to my old self. Now I can practice to live it from my new version that I am developing.
Yes,
And I
yes.
am working consciously. So I start being like the conscious chooser of where my attention is going to go, what thought I am going to choose, if it serves me, if it take me faster where I want to go, and with ease and joy, and not from the place of pushing and stress and tension, because I know that you can get to the result from that way at the end, or sooner or later you can have the result you want, but by pushing effort with effort and all that, right? You
Right.
can
You
do
can do
things
that.
that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't work if it doesn't need to be in your life. But you can do things from that place, but also you can do things from this other place of joy and vibration and enjoying. And you will see that you have less oxidative stress in your body, less tension, less complications in your body. Your body has more energy. You feel in harmony, in peace. You don't feel that this regulation of your nervous system or your endocrine system. You will be more in calm, more in joy, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to allow ourselves that joy state, it's something very revolutionary for our mind also,
Yes.
and
Yes.
for our limiting beliefs that we don't deserve and all that. And some people start
Limited
feeling
beliefs. I think that's the big key, right? We definitely think that this is how it has to be. That
yeah,
limiting belief definitely can lock us into that negative thinking as well, right?
yeah.
So, and then we start judging ourselves, and then we start going down, as I call the rabbit hole. How many rabbit holes are we going to hit today?
Yeah, totally. And just, it's very easy. It's so easy to do that. It's so easy not to do. I like to be in that presence in the breath and realize that we are only existing in this physical aspect in the breath that we are having this moment. And from there, we need to learn how to use our intelligence, because we are so intelligent for a lot of things, but we don't apply that intelligence to these small things, right? So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you can say, I would use my intelligence. I am worried about this thing, and I am so stressed because of this. If you come to the breath and you think, is this really happening? Is this the thing I am worrying about really happening? Yes or no? No. So what I am going to do with my internal chemistry?
so
I
let's say
want,
you have this thought, right? So you're thinking it's taking you down a road. I have this thought. Is that's the time you want to check into your body and see how your whole body feels, or just a
yeah,
piece of your body?
absolutely. Yeah. And I love we are talking about this because this is quantum physics applied to our biology. Yeah. And that is the
Yes.
part that I love more. Like, how do we feel this in the daily life? And no, don't keep it the theory of it, but this is how you feel it. This is how you live your quantum reality and your quantum nature. Like, totally, you know that your body is translating information, right?
Right, right.
With the sensation, the feeling. So yes, I use a lot my body, to sense myself. And really, I know that if I am not being me, truly me, if I am being conditioned by patterns, thoughts, limiting beliefs, my body don't feel good. It feels tense. I cannot breathe well. I start being in sympathetic nervous system mode, breathing quickly, or I am get a bit anxious, right? Or I
The
have
anxiousness in your stomach, right? I mean, like the
in the
butterfly
stomach,
feelings. Yeah.
in the
So
throat.
if you're getting those feelings, what is our body telling us at that moment? How do we touch back into who we are when our nervous system is already taking over?
Breath, just the belly breathing. That
Belly breathing.
you don't need to stop doing what you are doing in order to breathe. We are always breathing. But if you are in the presence in what you are doing, you can be watching also how you are breathing the moment, and try to take the breath to your belly, that it goes to the lower part of your lungs. It doesn't go to the belly or to the stomach, the air, but it goes to the lower lobe of the lungs. So the diaphragm goes down, and your abdominal organs go a bit outside from your body. So you feel like if the air is going to your belly, but it's not going to the stomach, it's going to the lower lobe of the lung. And with the movement of the diaphragm, you are giving a massage to the vagus nerve, right? And after 3 breaths to your belly, you don't need to expand a lot of your abdomen. You are not doing a pranayama. You are not doing some special technique, yogic technique to breathe. No, you are just taking the air like a dog, like a baby, that they breathe to the belly naturally, unless they are stressed by something. But if they are in a natural condition, they are breathing to their bellies, right? So you just try to stay there in your belly, breathe into your belly. You know that you are giving a massage to your vagus nerve, and that will take you to your parasympathetic nervous system mode. And the chemical state of the present state in the body is the parasympathetic nervous system. So
Gotcha.
instead of thinking of being present and trying to live presence in the thought, in the mind, I go first to the body, and I take myself to the internal chemistry of this present state, right? And from there, I watch. And from there, I create space in my mind, because that space in the body will create space in your mind. And from there, you are able to choose this thought, this possibility, blah, blah, blah. Right? So we need to give ourselves the possibility to choose. But it would be hard to choose if I am in fight or flight mode, if I am running to every place, like not present in the body, not breathing. It would be much harder if I want to do it only in my mind. But integrating in the body and integrating the body in this, it's really helpful. And I always said that the body teaches us how to live here, the physical plane. So
I love
yes,
that. I love that. I agree. I completely agree.
yeah. So that is the practical thing that I would recommend everyone. It is not complicated, because we are talking about quantum physics. It's not that you need to do some, I don't know, complicated quantum thing. No, it's very easy, right? Like to be in presence, assume that you are a quantum being, you are giant quantum being, you are really, because our conscious mind is just telling our personal story, telling our interpretations of everything. It's very limited. It's only one possibility in the quantum field.
That's,
So
that's just huge. To
so
think that
if
we're
you know,
limiting ourselves.
if you know that you can live your limited life and stay there if you want, but if you are curious, and you start feeling some things, and you're, I don't know, these things, you feel it like excites you, or you want to explore, you want to go beyond. Some people don't want to go beyond anything. Some people
True.
perceive
But
themselves
they're
that they are
comfortable.
okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are comfortable. They don't need anything else. That's fine, perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But people like me, that I had these diseases, that I was challenged a lot in my life in order to expand myself, I think that is a very important mechanism, suffering in life, in order to expand ourselves. I think that it is not being so necessary now to suffer, because with this
Yeah.
new era, new
I
age,
think that needs to be
new
repeated.
consciousness,
I think we need
yeah,
to repeat that again, right? It's
yeah,
not necessary to suffer, right?
no,
But we do believe we're supposed to. So that's an interesting thing. Um,
yes. No, but
so
I think it's perfect. For me, it was perfect for my conscious state of that moment,
yeah.
right? I really honor that, and I honor suffering. If I need to suffer more things in my life, welcome. I am not afraid of suffering, because it took me to places that I could never imagine, to integrate the suffer and to go beyond myself, impulsed by that suffering, by that discomfort. So it is really sacred for me. It's not something bad that happens to you, right?
Well, and
So
so I would have to think that because it is sacred to you now, that you have less of it,
totally,
which,
yes,
yeah, which is, if we look at the other side, it's much easier, right? I
yes,
mean, if we're constantly thinking we have to suffer and we'd honor it instead, then we're going to have
yeah,
less of it. Um,
absolutely.
what are maybe some of the pitfalls or challenges when exploring this quantum healing? I mean, do you see a downside to it?
No, only when the ego comes in, and the ego wants to play with the quantum field, or or if you are like yeah, wanting something to manifest from your fears or from your lack, that you are going to be stuck there. It is
Yeah,
not some, there is no danger on that, but maybe you get frustrated, but you are losing the best part. But I think that, yeah, from where I am deciding to do this, from where I am exploring, I am really surrendering to the exploration, like letting it go, the expectations or the results that I want to achieve. Just really what accelerates all the process of creation or manifesting is your trust, that your trust that you are the source, and you start vibrating like the source, and living like the source. So you
I
just,
love that.
it
Love
is
that.
very comfortable place, and very flow, very natural, where you start um, letting it go, all the things that we used to do to control things, to feel that we are in control. So you start even having a better relationship with uncertainty, because in the quantum field you have all the infinite possibilities, but everything is uncertain, right? We come from a mind that wants certainties all the time, security, results, expectations, timelines, I don't know, projections. So when you just rest in feel, you feel what you want to be manifested outside. So if you, that I love this phrase, you need to become it first. So if you become it first, instead of wanting the thing to manifest outside of you, for you to feel in certain way, if you start feeling that thing as it is already happening, you are already living the thing chemically, internally.
Very differently when you look at it that way, right? Because you're
So
chemically living it. So
yes,
that's
so the point is, I need to generate the internal chemistry of the thing that I want to manifest outside.
right, right. So it's not
Because
just the words, right?
no, no,
Words alone are not, I mean, you can sit there and say it over and over, I'm this, I'm da
no,
da da. But until you drop into the feeling of what those words mean, is when you actually have the transformation of
Yes.
manifesting what you're actually feeling. And that's the
Yes.
chemical
It's like
reaction you're talking
the
about.
chemical reaction. Dr. Joe Dispenza explained this. He says you need to put the intention, you need to feel it, but you need to feel it. If you only put the intention, nothing happens. You need to
Right.
feel it. So the feeling is the translation of your body of that intention, the chemical translation, and that molecular chemistry, that molecule has a vibration, has atoms, electrons, protons. So those atoms and molecules have a frequency, right?
And they can change, right? Those
And
frequencies can change.
they can change, of course, but if you are feeling the vibration that you want, the vibration of the thing that you want to be manifest outside, you usually want good things to be manifest outside, right? So you are going to start vibrating higher,
Right.
because you
Right.
are emanating, because you are having those molecules that vibrate in certain frequency,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So you are not going, if you know this, you are not going to choose to suffer. You are not going to choose bad things to happen. But we think of all a lot of things that can happen, all the tragedies that can happen, and we feel the fear, we feel the wariness, and our body is like
It
tense.
shrivels up.
So in that sense, we are creating our reality all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people say, no, I have good thoughts. I have good thoughts, but I am feeling lack and I am feeling fear.
Oh,
The
gosh.
frequency,
Yes.
the frequency is the point. What your body is emanating.
Yes, yes. I work with horses, and it's interesting that you bring that up because
Perfect
horses,
example.
yeah, perfect example because they are always living from the feeling of the energy around them, and they can feel it, they can smell it, they can see it, hear it, all that
Yes.
stuff. And it's interesting when you go up to horse and you think you're happy and you're having a great day, but you are actually emanating a feeling of fear because you're trying to outthink what your body is actually feeling. The horses call you out on it right away. They go,
I love it. I got you. I got you,
I
they
got
say.
you. Exactly. And so it's very interesting. Real quick, two things. One, I've been reading a book called Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David Hawkins. Have you heard of him?
Yes,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
him.
And the map of
He's great.
consciousness. Yeah, I mean, so talking about
The map of
pride,
consciousness.
yes. And so he labels all of the frequencies. And it's
Yes.
interesting. I was looking at them, and self is enlightenment at the top, right? And bottom is despairing, miserable, and shame. So we can have a vibration of 700 to 1,000, and I don't know,
Yeah.
hertz, I guess it is.
Yes.
Or we can be at 20. Where do we want to sit? Right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's hard for us all to be at enlightenment, but let's just
Yes.
face it, if we could be at courage, which is at 200, that's going in the right direction, right?
Absolutely.
And in enabling satisfaction
Yeah.
and neutrality at 250, where you get trust and you can release. If you can just stay there, you're already
Yeah.
ahead of so many people that are in fear and grief and
Yes.
apathy and guilt. And
Absolutely.
pride's another one that eats you up. Like, that's exactly what I think you were talking about you trying to strive so hard. You had such pride of being what you couldn't be. So you actually kept getting ill and processing that internally. Maybe you're trying to be, perfect for your family, or who knows. But
Yeah.
so we got to let go of pride. Pride's going to eat you up. You got to let go of the glamour of everything,
Yeah.
that shiny, coin out there that's going to make you look good or you feel good because you have this beautiful ring that has all these diamonds on it, or you've got the beautiful necklace or the actually most expensive horse out there. That's all going to take you down into eventually shame. It's going to take you in the wrong direction. So I absolutely love that. And I wanted to
I love
suggest
that
that
book.
book.
Yes,
Do you have
totally.
a book that maybe has taken you from the beginning journey? That you're at a much more advanced journey than most of us. So in the beginning journey, which one was a highlight for you to really take off from?
I started my spiritual journey, open consciousness, like with Paramahansa Yogananda. He's a guru from India, and his book, Autobiography of a Yogi,
Oh, I've heard of that
changed
one.
my life. Yeah, he
Yeah.
changed my life.
Okay. I'm going to
And
put that on the list.
then I start reading like the Bhagavad Gita, all these Hinduism books that if you don't like that branch, that's okay. You don't need to go there. But another books that I love is Michael Singer. He has a book that is called The Surrender Experiment.
Ooh.
And the story of his life, it's amazing. And another book from him is The Untethered Soul.
Say that one again. The untethered.
The Untethered Soul. Untethered.
Maybe we'll write that down. Yeah.
I will write it down because my English is in that word.
That's okay. You've done fantastic.
Yeah, but Michael Singer, you check Michael Singer and you will see those books.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, they are very practical in the daily life, like the examples of the daily life. It is very practical. I love the practical things, not the theoretical things, but how do I live this theory in my daily life, right? And another thing that I want to say that is for me is something important. Sometimes when we see that scale of Dr. Hawkins, we tend to believe that we need to be at the higher always.
Right.
Yes. And don't forget that we live in a dual world, in duality, in polarity. So we fluctuate. Yes. So sometimes you will be a bit down, feeling some fear, maybe because something happened in your life and you feel fear or you feel shame or whatever. So take it as a natural process. Don't believe that it's not working for you, because people used to judge that, like, no, this does not work, this is not working for me, or I am not worthy, or it's very difficult, or I can't, all these limitations that we put ourselves. So honor the human experience in the whole. So we can explore the whole human experience from shame, fear, and everything. The point is that you don't get stuck there, like perpetuating that state of victimism. If you live like a victim, that things happen to you all the time, you are unlucky, you are living in a victim mode, and that keeps you stuck there in those vibrations, in those frequencies, and it is really very uncomfortable and sad to live there. So the practice is, the practice of the presence is, it's okay if I go there, if I get caught in a thought, in a limiting belief, and I fall a bit, I quickly realize, and I says, no, okay, I am fluctuating, moving in this human experience, but I know I am this, I know I am bigger, I know I am a quantum being with all my potential, that I am just exploring my own potential, all my human potential, I am developing that. And I can be developing that
Give
all
us
my
a
life.
visualization. Give us a visualization of a quantum beam. What does that look like for you? Because I think if we have a visualization of, because to me, I go, well, okay, quantum being. Okay, that's great, wonderful. But what does that look like?
It's like an observer state where you can watch the whole human spectrum of experiences with neutrality, with trust, with certainty, and you can be in peace with the parts of your ego that you don't like very much, but you don't reject your ego. You integrate all the time all your experiences. You don't have this preference or choose only to be here, or you are judging the things they are developing or happening. You are totally conscious that you are creating all the time. If you realize or don't realize that you are doing it, it's okay. Sometimes we create things from our subconscious mind and our programming. That's okay. And if you can relate with that and say, oh, I didn't create this consciously, but there is something there. So you can even know what is in your subconscious mind watching your manifestations.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like an observer state. Like you don't judge,
I
you don't
love
get
that. I think I
involved,
can really picture that.
you don't get involved in the drama. No, you just play and explore
Yeah,
all your
yeah,
potentials, your possibilities, with not anxiety or desperation of I want to get this. No, you're just exploring, and you feel calm, you feel peace, you feel like relaxed, and you can take yourself to that state. You know, this is like the neutral position where you are able to choose consciously. So the quantum being takes himself to this possibility to choose, creates for himself the possibility to choose.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're coming to the end of this because I think we're at the hour. But one thing I'm thinking is arguments, right? We argue with people all the time to be right. We're always forcing ourselves to be that ego piece that you're wrong, I'm right. When you said quantum being and you said an observer, I think we need to stop arguing with who we are, right? We need to shift that mentality and just say, all right, you win. Let me check it out. Let me be curious. Let me go out there and have fun with this. Let's bring joy to this, opposed to I'm right, you're wrong, right? So I think that's a piece that I think people could start to develop. Like when they're having those too many thoughts, they're really arguing against who's right and who's wrong. It's that
Totally.
simple. It's just that
It's
simple.
very simple. So keep it simple. And explore it. Take it to action. Do it in yourself. So that is the best thing to do with your quantum nature, right?
Yes.
So explore it and play with it, right? And that is something very nice because when you start being this observer, you observe yourself. You can observe your parts that are limited, and you can observe that you are bigger than that, right? And then you can observe the other person, that the other person comes from the same source like you, and the other person is another piece of the source, another possibility that you cannot be that possibility. You are the possibility that you are. The other person is another possibility of the quantum field, but you cannot be both possibilities at the same time.
Right.
So no one is better than the other, and no one is right or wrong.
Right. Right.
Who are you, only one possibility of the quantum field, to say that the other possibility is wrong?
I love that.
Right?
I love that.
So when you start watching that, everything starts becoming very interesting, and life becomes interesting. So you can watch another person explaining his beliefs, his political beliefs, anything you want, and you can just say, what's interesting, this person. It's this possibility of the source is like very interesting. You don't need to fight against that. You don't need to defend yourself against that. You don't need to explain your beliefs, anything. You are just there like watching, and this is very interesting. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. I am very interesting. So you reclaim your like these child behaviors, like to get how do you say this in English? Like surprised all the time.
Yes,
Like
yes,
you are
yes.
you are in a
We call it the beginner's
learn
mind, the
a
beginner's
beginner's mind
mind.
all the
Yes,
time. So everything is interesting for you. You
right,
are not
right.
judging things and doing interpretations, limited interpretations, because you can only interpret things that happens from your limiting beliefs.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do teach a lot of is having that beginner's mind and getting new perspective, not by something that we've dominated the thoughts over, but being in breath and then being able to have it show up for you. Well, my God, you are amazing. I was hoping we could do a meditation, but I forgot to mention that to you to have a closing. So we can wrap this one up and then maybe we do a meditation together and we'll just put it in afterwards on a different day. You're up for that? Okay. Because I know you've got to
Yes,
get to a
totally.
meeting and I got to go too. But oh my
I would love
God,
to do that.
so blessed to have
I
you
love
with
you.
me and telling me so many great things and opening up so many doors. That's the other thing. It's like, you know, we walk into so many closed doors and that's where we get limited. But you have just expanded the world and given us the opportunity of that door is open and we can walk through it. So I love you. I totally
Love
believe.
you.
And we'll see you the next time.
Oh yeah, thank you, my dear. And I can't explain the joy that my body felt throughout this conversation, and the energy that I feel in my body
Oh,
circulating through my
I am
body.
high vibing.
So thank you for that, for this experience. Yes, thanks. I love you so much. And
Me
yes, let's
too.
do next time a nice meditation, like at least 15
Yeah.
minutes, and ensure that, of course, we will arrange.
Perfect. Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, my dear.